Hello, hello. Welcome to another week of Eternal Return coaching. I am your boy Levi. What's poppin', y'all? I know you guys just saw me on like Friday, and we're back again for Tuesday regular streams. So, not too much has happened since then. Back to regular uploads, which is exciting. Real quick question that we got in the chat. What do you think about solo and duo modes removed temporarily? I don't know if I've ever talked about it. Hi you guys. Hi Jinx. Hi Cheys. Hi Snowy. Hi Tenma. Hi Zugrash. Nice to meet you all. Glad you're here. But what I think about like solos being removed temporarily, I think it's fine. Like you guys know, I'm by far a solos player compared to squads, but I'm a Eternal Return player first, then a solos player second, I guess. We kind of don't have the luxury, unfortunately, to have continuous pops all the time. If it was, then I would be like a little offended that they took solos out, but I think it makes more sense to just funnel everyone into one queue first. So the guy on the cereal box. It's a necessary evil, yeah. That's kind of how it feels. I'm personally okay with it. I'm going to do like a deep dive in the squads probably. It'll be a nice change of pace at the very least. 1.0 will surely be popping 24/7. I don't think it'll be continuous the first week. I think like a little bit after that it will be though. The game is apparently, from what I've heard, I cannot confirm this yet, going down on the 17th, and it's going to be down from the 17th till the 20th for maintenance. So hopefully that's like enough time to like be a build up for everyone to get on. There's a universe where KR focused on solos only. That'd be nice. Even if I'm an uber casual on squads, don't worry. We're going to be doing some squads content. I'm fully going to dive into it and try and find a way to enjoy it. I've got a really exciting collab, which I'm hopefully going to be recording tomorrow during maintenance for like a guide for squads. It's with a special guest. I really gotta stop. Okay, so like I take showers like right before I start streaming because streaming takes a lot out of me, and it like I need the shower like beforehand to like recharge. But it's so hot out, and I took way too hot of a shower, and I have this bad habit of like getting out of the shower 2 minutes right before stream starts. I fully use the like intro starting soon song to like get out of the shower and get dressed. Like I start my stream while I'm in a towel and still wet. I really need to stop doing that. We can play squads together too sometime? Yeah, for sure. Also, Levi, did you read my message in the creator cord about my future plan thingy? I have not seen it. Is it in one of the channels? Because I have everything but the announcements channel and the general chat muted. In general? How far back do I have to scroll up? July 1st. I'll have a look. Anyone interested in perhaps joining me for a week 1 podcast event I have planned? Oh, I probably should be leaving this out loud. My bad. My bad. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know about week 1 of the release, but I'd be down to join you sometime for it. I am currently working on a lot, but 100% I'll be down to make an appearance on it at some point. That could be exciting. Sorry that my model was all bugged out. I have like Discord on like a really small screen. Also, we gotta work on that other thing that we have planned at some point too. Probably closer to the end of August, if we're being honest. I want to use week 1 as sort of my day 1 experience discussion and a pilot. That makes sense. I'm kind of doing the same thing with like squads content. I want to do like my day one experience with squads. Been busy too, I bet. As a Rio main, I'm happy that NN giving a free Rio skin. Rio has so many skins, which I'm not complaining. I like Rio skins a lot, but she has so many skins now. It's gonna be tough deciding which one to use. Anyways, we're here for coaching today. I'm going to run the same coaching trailer that I do every week. I also keep forgetting to set it as a trailer for the streams, but here are the rules for what's going on. Welcome to the It's Levi's replay review livestream. Simply fill out the form in the video description or on my community tab ahead of the stream, and your game will be considered for a review during the livestream. Live coaching is completely free, so don't feel the need to super chat or spam the chat trying to get one. It'll be ignored. After the stream, the VOD will stay up so you can always come back to the stream. There will be timestamps in the description in case you missed your review. If you submit a game for a review, you can expect the following. I'm sharing my knowledge and experience with Eternal Return to help you become a better player. All advice, tips, and tricks will be based on my own experiences. The aim is to make you a better player, so please feel free to ask questions in the chat whether it's your own game or someone else's. But do not put anyone down if they make a bad play or die. We're all here to learn and get better. Thank you so much for checking out the stream. Leave a like if you enjoy and let a friend know so we can have more submissions. The more people that submit, the more you're likely to learn. Let's get started. I keep forgetting to update my socials on that. They're still the wrong socials. Don't pay attention to that. I'll do it at some point. Okay, so what we got? We got 5 reviews today, I believe. And we'll start off with Cheys. They're pretty consistent at getting first, it seems like. Hello Levi, it's me again. Need help still stuck at this game, playing on rank, currently silver. General advice for game plan using Rio or solo. I know solo will be removed on official launch, but I just need to get gold rank. I need to get better at positioning / movement while fighting someone. Yeah, like playing Rio is interesting because you can't actually like force, I forgot where I put the codes. You can't actually force anyone to fight you. So it can be a little difficult trying to climb with her. Especially in a meta right now where I think like cooldown reduction is very prevalent and Rio kind of doesn't care about cooldown reduction. So I feel like a lot of characters probably can just gap close onto you. My initial advice would be to play around walls, use your wall jump. But we'll see what we got going on first.
Stop bothering me.
This I believe is probably a Dock Chapel Cemetery hospital build. I haven't played Rio in a very long time. She's always been strong, but since the takeover of Yuki, Jack, Luke, etc., she has it rough. Yeah, I don't think she's a bad character. It's just like not having a way of making people fight you is tough. This is a very similar route to what I ran on Hedgen. Also crazy that you got double short route. I always miss short routes. I would say hold off on making your food if you can. You'll find alcohol in the hospital and it's just gonna slow you down a little bit in the routing phase. You can make mocha once you get to the hospital. She's kind of out-sustained by other characters who can fight the same kind of ranges and don't get super punished. Yeah, she like loses like the William 1v1. She loses like most of the 80 carry-ish type character 1v1s. Also, you probably would have saw pings from this Laura looting, so you know that you're running into a distribution where someone is at. Probably would have been better to take this one. You might still get all your items because I don't think you need a ton. Yeah, these are still pretty full, but just be conscious of where you see pings. Yeah, as you see, you still ended up having to look for multiple distributions. So had you came here off the start, you probably would have gotten everything. Especially with if you're playing on NA, I don't think this is NA. This looks like KR. But in NA, hospital is a really popular finishing zone lately. You can usually expect at least one other player to be here, so you do want to try and get here in time for these wolves to spawn, otherwise they might be gone. You can usually assume that the top half of hospital is cleaned out. Nobody ever goes to the bottom building. Yeah, unless someone spawns here and is going cemetery, it's really out of the way. For the most part, these two will pretty much 99% of the time be looted. You can sometimes greed for this one, but play based on what you see. Like, if you see pings, it's probably not worth it. Unless you don't need glue. Glue's like usually something that both amp characters and crit characters can use. If you need like scrap metal or something, you might be okay. There's like 3 of them per zone. If you are gonna run this route though, and you're not gonna go like up to tree and try and get it, you could try and take these bears as well for XP. TPing back into dock is fine. You do run into Rozzi if they're running the Glock build. This Rozzi is very behind though. You might be okay. That Luke's just gonna kill her. Meteorites also, if you're gonna do that, that's fine. I think Rio has a decent early game meteorite contest. Yuki's a bit of a tough matchup with disarm. It's a good dodge there. If you could have held E a little bit longer, I think. I don't think you had to E right away. Especially with her missing twice. That's unfortunate third party, but good buffer on the ult as you're running through the stun. Like that a lot. Speed gate should get you out. Yeah, so when Yuki misses E like that, that's like one, his main damage ability, but two, also the thing that's going to screw you over is his disarm. Kind of don't really have to jump away from him that quickly. He's just going to either stun you and auto attack you twice for 2 cufflinks and then have to W, or just run away immediately because he missed E. Not bad play, of course, to jump away from him. You don't want to be in damage range of him if you can help it, but had he like stayed to fight you like he did and you didn't jump away, you probably could have chased him back a little bit with having your E still. Oh, this poor Rozzi, dude. Just never got going. You got food, which is good. Rio doesn't usually use too much SP, so you don't really have to worry about that. I believe Rio goes to fence battle zone. I think that's where I've seen them most. This one is defense, yeah. You do want to be careful with a defense zone in beach. There's not going to be any walls for you to jump over. Beach is like such a open area. Good dodge. Oh, you had the timing too. Just hold off on that auto. Good dodge on the evil. But I like that you held your auto just a little bit too early. Careful with Q return. Yeah, I think she's low enough where it's not going to matter. Yeah. I don't know if I would have committed ult there. I don't know if she would have had a way to kill you there. It's kind of a longish cooldown. You might need it for Laura too, especially with no walls to hop. But yeah, as I was saying, beach is like kind of open area, so it's a little tough for you to kite out people. I would stay in short bow against Laura. Like the one auto of poke against Laura is not going to be worth it for how slow you're going to attack.
One less inconvenience for you.
That one's not too bad. Like you said, if you had ult, it might have been a little bit of a different of a matchup. Nikki messed up there. Yeah, she didn't play that great. I don't know how to engage with Rio. Maybe I just wait someone come near and use her E. Yeah, that's quite literally your only play. Rio doesn't have much of an engage. It's kind of her biggest flaw is that people can just run away from there if she wants to. You kind of just sit in longbow form until they turn on you and then you go into short bar form. But I would have just stayed in short bar form for that Laura fight. You know she has to run at you because the drone's on your side, so. I would have probably picked a wolf zone to respawn in. It's still fairly early into day 2. Probably could have spawned in hotel and gotten these wolves, or in hospital because you had the timer for them. Hospital probably would have been the best play for them. You do also have the timer for these bears though, because you were here when the Aiden, or not the Aiden, the Luke took the first one, so you should know that these are up.
One bad move and you might get caught.
Yeah, so we're ignoring the bears here. These are... Oh, okay, you just walked around. I thought you were okay. That's fine. I thought you were leaving. This is good. I'm glad you're taking the bears. It'll keep up in mastery. Your mastery's still decent, right? Like, you're level 11 with 10 mastery. That's not bad, especially with this loot getting taken out right now. He was kind of the leader. You will have to watch out for this Laura. And obviously the Hunwu ease into the wall are always a problem. Almost reset the bear. That was a little close. What's the other zone? Shield zone? We're gonna go to... You're gonna have to start moving if you want to make it to hotel zone. You could always just stay here though. It's not the best zone, I think, because if people do get on you, you will die quickly. But there's lots of walls to play around in dock. You also have the vision console, so you should be able to see this happening. So Laura has no thrill. Should be a good third party. This is really good. You're not going to get the kill on Yuki, unfortunately, or on Laura, but that's just a timing thing, getting a feel for moving a little bit earlier than you did. Like the whole issue with Rio, you can't really force that Yuki to fight you after, right? Like he can just run away if he wants to. That's just a Rio issue.
Take your time. I'll close my eyes for a bit.
You could like longbow after him to try and chase him down, but I don't think it's worth it ever. I think it's better to just hold alt for this battle zone.
I miss the old days.
So when playing against Yuki in this battle zone, I would try and take control of this bush. I believe Rio can hop this car, this truck. If you have one cam and bow skill, it should be able to cover for vision. Also, I would try and push Yuki away earlier to get rid of the diamond shard slow. It's really close kiting. I think if you had double pressed the R just a little bit quicker, probably would have won that. That's just a bit of a mechanical issue though. Just being a little quicker. It was a good attempt though. Yuki hurts, yeah. You're also in the offensive battle zone, so he's gonna do more damage. This is a good respawn. I would have liked to see you respawn school since no one was in it. You can see that there's 4 players alive when you respawn. You know Yuki has to run all the way up to Uptown TP or all the way to Factory TP to TP into it. And if you see the other 2 are in like these bottom zones, you just know that this is free. Had you have changed the order, like you spawn in this zone, get Omega, and then call something in, like the Yuki's not even going for it either. Like he made it all the way to Uptown just to TP the cemetery. Like this is a free Omega. We have Wick coming to the cemetery. That's probably why Yuki TP'd there. But I think you would have had time for all of this. The hunts as well. Rio's Wick taped is really good if there's no one around. It's horrible if there's people around because you'll just get third party on it really easily. Jackie escaped too. But Cemetery's pretty good. There's lots of walls that you can hop over in Cemetery. This wall specifically is really good for Rio to play around. Such a long wall. And Yuki has no wall dashes. Nikki you still have to be careful of. I'm scared to take Wick when I'm using Rio. It's a necessary part of the game. You gotta build that confidence. You won't gain confidence if you don't try it more. Try it in normal games if you need. Or like go into like a practice tool and just like practice taking Wick with different like various points in your build. Like try with 4 transitions, try with no transitions, try with 6 transitions. Just get like a feel for how Rio takes Wick. Because this very easily could have been a free Wick. If you had been in the zone with the vision and you see Yuki gets a kill on Nikki over here, he's either gonna have to stop the heal or like try and get to you on half health. Someone's going to jump scare you and kill you, then you just peel off, right? Like nothing, because of the way like solos work, it's a little different in squads, but like in solos, because you don't respawn, nothing's ever worth dying for. So if you have to give up Wick to stay alive, like that's still worth it. It sucks and it's probably like second worst case scenario, but nothing is worth dying for in this game. I do think because it's a 1v1 with Yuki, your best bet at like stopping him from getting onto you is probably double guillotines, which you're in forest. You can build 2 out of the 3 components for it. Or for not double guillotines, pendulum axes. Like you just need him to stop. You just need to stop his E, right? Like you don't even need the full snare. Just this enough will be enough to stop his E. So I think if you build a few of those, then you can just call in the axe portion. It'll definitely help you in the 1v1 against Yuki. This is good for you though. Yuki has Wick and he's not trying to find you with it. He's just hunting. So he is stalling out his own Wick. The problem is like we're trapped here in forest. There's not much mastery you can be gaining from being around here. If you weren't going to stay for trap parts, I probably would have liked to see you come back into Avenue because you have the timer for these wolves. And you should know that these camps here are also respawning soon. With 2 people left, it's not that it's not likely that you're going to run into Yuki camping this like border. I think you could have just walked back in. Especially with like gold chests being on the other side of the map. No, it's glitch because it's spectator client's the worst thing in the world, but if you're looking at your map, you should be able to see these gold chests disappear. And that's how you can know where Yuki is at the time. What are we calling in here? Calling cams, that's good. Cams will help. I don't think this Yuki's gonna have trap priority over you though. Is the only thing. Also, if he's sitting in a bush and you're playing Rio, like you're pretty much dead if you have to check the bush. Pop this wall, please. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's a good try. Just gotta get a little bit closer to the wall. But you had the right idea. Haze will be in Battle Pass Season 6? Beach Battle Pass? Yeah, Season 10. Technically, I think they're going to call it Season 1. No, that's no worries. Like, that's just like a reactive thing. I think instead of like going for that one longbow auto, you should probably just immediately turn around because that's not going to make or break the fight against the Yuki. worry about getting to a good position before you return damage, I would say, instead of returning damage and then trying to kite. Which, for all you guys who are here, if you head over to my community tab on the dev journal that I posted today, there is NP codes at the bottom for 300 if any of y'all need. Just to let y'all know that who are here. Alright, what's next? It was a good game though, Cheys. You did a lot of good things there. I think you're a little bit in your head about things. I think you play a little bit more worried than you need to be. And I think if you watch more of your replays... Oh god, don't look at my match history. I think if you watch a lot more of your replays, you'll start to get a feel of when you're safe and when you're not safe. No problem. I think they said the pack skin was Emma, wasn't it? Or am I making that up? I might be making that up. They might not have said yet. I thought they had said it was Emma though. Alright, next up we got Arthao. I hope I'm saying that right. They're silver and under. I picked a replay that I made a ton of mistakes in while still getting top 3. I feel like I struggle at mid-game farming / decision making the most right now. I feel like this is a very common theme. I think mid-game Eternal Return is one of the hardest parts of the game. I think once people get like a good idea of routing and a good idea of how to play the late game, it's what's gonna make or break like climbing ranks, I think, is how you play the mid game. Where are we here?
Stop bothering me.
Oh, we're on Rozzi. Nice. We're okay, so we're going 3-zone Glock, it looks like. I like that you ran over to this zone. Start with this voxel, just so that you're looting in a straight line. But that's good, because we're gonna run into cemetery. You don't need to grab these till dock. You can hold off for now. It's just gonna slow you down for a bit, and the broken glass is gonna mess with your leather in your inventory. Not the broken glass, the rocks. Who can say about playing Barbara? We don't have many Barbara players in NA. So when you're level 2, these chickens can all be killed just by WQ. You don't need to actually auto attack at all. And it'll just save you a little bit of time. Just W into the middle of them and then Q them as you walk towards the hyperloop. Yeah, I would assume the ones that are in the pack are the ones, or not the pack, the ones that are in the pass are the ones from the wallpaper, which I think was Emma and 3 other characters. I don't remember. I'll have to go look at some point. So far, this is good. I'm glad that you have 2 alcohol. You can use 1 for Kaoliang liquor. You don't have to drink your second water if you don't, if you can save it. Right now you're restoring SP for full SP, so it's not that big of a deal. Also, same as Cheys. Wait till you're like full build to make your food. It's just gonna slow you down getting items. I like that you moved on to a second distribution after you found your short rod, because it's really unlikely that you'll find 2 in 1. MMI, Haze, and Luke.
One less inconvenience for you.
Gotcha. Typical Rozzi thing is to just mash craft. Your first short rod will go to your lace quiver. Try to put your first short rod to your gun just so you can defend yourself if there are people here. If you get them both at the same time, it's not a big of a deal, but Also, what happened to our other alcohol? Oh, you made 2 coffee liquors by accident. So, if it wasn't by accident, just on the off chance, if you have 2 alcohol, you can build this, and this is a much better SP for Rozzi. You get more of it, it's 800. I would go with that instead of coffee liquor. But this is good, I'm glad you're taking the bears. If you have time, you might want to grab console. Dog is a semi-popular final zone ending. I like that you're chaining them together. Just do a better job of getting out of the way of the stun of them. Try not to use E to farm. It's okay if you know that there's no one around, but you don't have the vision console, so that's 16 seconds without your quote-unquote escape ability. Yeah, they need more, like, male skins. I think the male to female skin ratio in the dev stream was like 75 to 25. Which, who doesn't like cute girls, but it's just a lot. Yeah, Alonzo looks like he'll be cool. I like this routing. Factory after dock is really good. You can check for the wolves to see if they're here. Also building extra food. I would grab some lighters just because you don't have SP. And cemetery is right here, so you can spend more time in factory like you are. This is fine. If the battle zone was like somewhere out here, you would probably want to start being closer to it so you can TP. But with cemetery, you can just walk here. I haven't decided yet which battle zone I like more between like this drone and this drone. So either one for the moment, take your pick. You are going to have to fight in Estelle. This is a favorable matchup for Rozzi. Try to hold your abilities to try to kite with auto attacks and force Estelle to E. Once she E's, it's pretty easy. You can just dodge it with W. Okay, a little bit of... Actually, this might work out, but... A little bit of mechanical things with this fight. So I'm just going to pause it real quick. So Rozzi's passive is that when you auto attack, you get 2 bonus autos, or 1 bonus auto attack after an ability. And that second shot does a ton more damage than the first shot. When you, like, they don't stack, right? So like when you like QWE all in a row, you lose out on 3 extra auto attacks than normal. Technically like 6 extra, but we'll call it 3 for continuity. You want to make sure that you're auto attacking in between each of your abilities to get the double shot to maximize damage. Don't just throw out E just to throw it out there. You definitely want to try to dodge something with the E, whether it's Estelle E or Estelle stun. So we queued backwards, which was a little unfortunate. That's just an input thing. But right here, we're committing E for basically no reason. Estelle still has E and alt. We want to try to avoid being in this position to start the fight, though. Had you have just like started kiting back up towards this path, you would have been a little bit safer, especially because Estelle doesn't have her camera in this bush, so she would have had to either place it down or walk up through it without vision. Right here, we're 3 abilities down with no distance in between the 2 of us. So this is a little bit bad for us. At this point, you want a pistol skill away and try and reset the fight, because this is not going to be a favorable position. And like, you do have a like mastery lead, right? So we want to try and take a favorable fight if we can. The alt here is fine. That's just going to give us speed when we pop it. So alt weapon skill and then Q away probably works really well here. And because we pop it, we'll get the cooldown. You still almost won this fight, which is a little crazy considering we missed 2 Qs and a like 6 auto attacks. You play that a little bit slower, try to have a little bit of patience. I know it's like there's a melee in my face whacking me. It's a little tough, but that's a fight that you can win with a reset. You can jump over her head when she dashes. Nothing feels cooler. Alternatively, if you just sidestep it, you're in a very good position. But yeah, use E as like a last resort type thing. I like that you spawned in the wolf zone. This is good. You're rewarded with the wolves being up. Allie probably would have also worked. This one had a Cheys in it. Had you have respawned on her head, you would be dead. So try to take an empty zone with wolves if you can. Factory was also up, and you had the timer for these, so that could have also been a safe play. We're only gonna get 1 set of wolves too because we TP'd into the Cheys zone. No jump it, it's cooler. You can jump over Estelle. However, if you like wait till she's charging at you though, because if you just E for like that, Estelle should E the opposite way on reaction and just get a free diamond shard off. Yeah, in that small of a corridor, it's definitely not possible to dodge, but in general, you want to try and dodge as much as you can before you have to use abilities. That's kind of just for all characters. This is a winnable fight here. We canceled autos again, but we did the right things in the wrong direction. I like that you saved E for Jackie's jump, which is good. I'm not going to question why that Jackie just didn't auto attack you at the end there, but I like the idea of that. So I would say start attacking Jackie a little bit earlier than when she walks into this bush, just because you don't want to be in melee range of her. Reactively jumping when reactively Eing when Jackie E's is really good, because most Jackies are just going to E and Q right away, or even if they don't, that's their mobility spell. So if you EW, that's enough distance to get away. Typically, you don't want to E towards a wall. You want to E away from a wall so that you can push them into the wall. Not so that you get trapped next to the wall. That was good, though. Really good play. One thing I will note here is that you have Amp Cheys. Well, hybrid. I don't know. That's crit Cheys. We have crit Cheys. We have Estelle. We have Amp Kathy, Tazia, Piolo, Amp Cheys, and a Camilla left. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 8 characters left are Amp. One thing you can do with Meteorite is go Spectre. It might help you a little bit more defensively, especially if you lost the first battle zone and are a little bit behind. I like Pegasus a lot too. I think Pegasus is stronger in terms of damage, but it might help you live the Cheys and Kathy matchups a little bit better. This is such a season 3 lobby. It's great. Oh yeah, the season 3 Piolo and Tazia for sure. And Camilla. And Estelle. Actually, what do you mean by that? That's fine to just let the Estelle go. I'm sure you want to get to your battle zone. You have the movement zone. Good choice. There's going to be a lot of people here. Kathy is a good matchup. Unless she's like uber fed. She's not, so that's going to be a good matchup. Kilo can be a little tough. Rapier Camillo can be a little bit tough, but he's not too fed. He's got 3 transitions though. We should take a zone here. Try to take this one over this one. This one's too narrow. It's not going to be a big deal against Camillo because you're cutting in a straight line anyway, but against Kathy it would be. I'm glad you took this one. Good dodge on the ult. Kind of a troll ult from Kathy, but we'll say good dodge. You have the timer advantage now. Oh, I guess you don't. It's pretty even still. Make sure you don't get stunned off the drone. She doesn't have ult, so this should be a very winnable fight now. Good job. Better use of your autos in that fight too. I think that was probably the best use of your passive autos that you've had in a fight so far. You can walk between these buses? Yeah. You can walk between here. There's actually a really old season 1 Worlds play where a full team hid in squads hid between those two buses. Try to save E for Camillo taunt if you can. It's a little hard when he's rapier because he can just rapier onto you and then taunt. But yeah, a full team like hid between these buses and like they had to like res while 2 other teams were fighting, and because you can't see them, they got their res off. Gotta keep away from a wall when fighting Kathy too. Yeah, stay away from a wall, stay away from the drone. Tough fight there. I like that you spawned here. This is a great spawn. Hospital also been fine, but these wolves are down, so this is a good spawn. You're in a wolf zone, and you need a console because we're calling in Force Core for Kelt. So I really like that. Great decision there. We are a little bit low in mastery, but that's okay. That comes from not getting many hunts on day 2, or night 2 rather. Why would I play C4 there? Yeah, you could play C4 and then run through it. It's the play. So we got Wick spawning here in Avenue. You don't have the cam, so you don't know that you're alone. This, realistically, with no one here, this could have been a free Wick. That's why it's important to take vision consoles. There's no one here. This is, like, I know you're a little bit under, but you get Wick here, you get Burgundy, you get maybe a tree for Alexander if you're lucky. But instead we took an empty bear zone. I like the idea you went to a bear zone for nighttime. It's a little unfortunate that these are out of sync, but if you get more confident around playing around Wick, that's a free Wick and changes the dynamic of this lobby. You craft insane much of traps when playing? That might get nerfed next season because you won't be getting trap mastery for doing so. So you'll just be really weak on damage. 20 is definitely over. You don't really need to craft traps until the end of the game. I think there's going to be a new meta emerge where you craft traps for the first objective on day 2, but we'll wait for that to actually happen. It's good that you got the meteorite. I'm glad you're sticking around for these bears because we're kind of a little bit too late for Wick now, so that's kind of really your only play.
It's important to avoid them.
Traps, never heard of them. What we got in here? Battlesuit? That might be okay in the Camilla matchup. If you end up getting a force core off that bears, I would hold on to that. Oh, we left right as the bears were spawning. You ran down here to see the timer too. I would have stuck around for those bears. Especially because you could have gone the same route you did at the beginning of the game. You could have gone bear here, 2 bears spawning here by the time you take it, and then into these wolves again. So that's a little bit of mastery that you're missing out on now.
One bad move and you might get caught.
Still got the Wick, but she just went down. I would honestly grab these wolves and then TB back in the dock and get these bears. I gotta fix this Nightbot command. I'm not sure what this alias thing that it's referring to is. Can never really get the hang of range characters. Do you play Snow, you played Paragon, was it? I don't know much about Paragon, but was there like melee and range characters in that, or is it just one type of character?
Wow, they must have found the good liquor.
Okay, this is good. I'm glad you went back into dock. You are gonna have to hurry a little bit though to get these bears. In this case where it's like you're on a timer, I'm glad you went to these two first, because it makes more sense to loot these two bears than to get the one and try and greed for the two. Because you know you're alone in the zone and you know that there's no one in factory, now's the time where you can use E to farm just to get quicker. Also, you reset the bear, which is going to be a little unfortunate, but... So playing range was weird. Oh, Paragon has a lot of variety. Interesting. It's like League. You need to start leaving. This is not a rest angle. This is where you would just like probably use this later and make steak and then eat steak along the way to heal up as you're leaving.
One bad move and you might get caught.
I normally play jungle or solo, never good at hitting my shots. Fair. My skill shot accuracy is something that needs work too. I got a free gold chest here, which is nice. I would run straight there though, because you don't know how far away this Camilo is. He's kind of the threat right now. Kathy, you can, if you dodge everything, you should be okay. She's kind of at the point where she can just W and R you, but she has Laurel, which interesting. But yeah, like you have this camera here, so you know that they're not here. You can just straight up go for us. It's just here as a Slain, but that might help a little bit. Realistically though, you don't want to run by gold chests. I tried to play Smite, but it didn't work in our region. That's unfortunate. I like Smite a little bit. I played like 10 years ago. I haven't touched it since then. Does blood spawn in crates if lucky? Blood can spawn in purple crates, not gold ones. So that wasn't the worst played, but that was actually winnable, I think. We'll go back through that fight. Sorry that I kind of just wanted to watch it, but... So, first of all, we're calling something in a zone that we don't have vision of. We know that someone's probably in the zone. Plus, I'm pretty sure we saw a ping. Actually, let me check to make sure if we see a ping. So I'm going to toggle your vision first. So Camilla would have seen your ping on the dog right here. So he knows that you're over here. Plus there's a camera right here. Oh, did I go back too far? I might have gone back too far. Yeah, we see a ping right there. So there's a ping on the wolves here. So you should know that someone's in this zone. So it's very likely that someone can come over the wall if they have this vision. And they see the vision of the console. So right here is kind of already too much damage we've taken. We didn't react to the Camilo coming over the wall. You might have been able to hear his footsteps. It would have been a little bit tough, but we need to move by the time that the E's coming over. This is already a little bit too late. You want to try and create as much distance away from this Camilo as you can. So if you have to WQ here, I think it's fine, even though you lose autos, especially because he follows you with the W. Once you get to this point, you might want a pistol skill away. So we're starting the fight. He's got 2 stacks already on his Q, and we're under half health. So it's a little bit lost at this point, but you make a really good E here to get back to the other side of him. I think if you just pistol, like if you held pistol skill to now, like you can start using it to run away. Getting the ult down here is a little bit greed because we're not going to have enough damage to kill him from this point. At some point, we just need to, you need to reset this fight. So like the Q here is what almost won it for you. Dodging it out from the taunt here with Q is huge because he has to do his animation and stand still. Had we have avoided much of the damage earlier, I would say you can go back in and make that fight, but this auto right here is what's going to screw you over because you have to stand still and he's going to deb you forward. So just being a little bit quicker about things, reacting a little bit quicker. That's really only criticism for that fight. We'll watch what happens between the Kathy and the Camillo, but for the last two fights, like, you played those two fights better than any of the other fights you played that game, so I think that was really good. A lot of good takeaways from that. Who knows how to use Billy Billy? I've never used Billy Billy before. A lot of damage from Kathy. Gets the Duende off. This might be Willem build for Camillo. Yeah, he is gonna win it. That ult actually, I knew hitting Camillo ult actually will win you a fight at some point. I can't believe that ability hasn't been reworked yet. Maybe it's better in team modes. Overall, good game though. Just make sure you're being conscious of those passive auto attacks. Kathy pinned him to the floor. Yeah, unfortunately, Kathy was a little too strong, and I think her E killed the board. Reminds me of a game I just played dying to a Kathy. I died to a Kathy last night from like 80% health. I dodged Suture, and I got hit with art, like raw art into Q, and I died. I fell over. It was great. It wasn't even a fully transition Kathy either. It was like a 4 transition Kathy. Next up, we have Len. Username is NotEva. Silver and under. Hi Levi, I just wanted to say thanks for making the guides and tutorials as they have really helped me learn the game better. No problem. I appreciate hearing that. Wanted to learn how to make better mid-game decisions making, as most of the time I just keep defaulting to farming and just lose behind in mastery sometimes because I am unsure of how to create a hunt rotation to stick with. Is Battle Zone more worth it over farming for mastery? A lot of the times the damage output in my games are quite low. Would like to know any mistakes I am making as I'm still new to Battle Royale games. Is there any advice on how to practice spacing? Sometimes a bit unsure of other characters' ability range. Sorry for the long rant. No, you're good. So a few things here. I'm gonna go in reverse order just because I think it makes more sense. So practicing spacing is going to just come with practice. Ideally, if you have a friend that you can practice like 1v1ing against, that would be the best way because you can't make the practice dummies move, unfortunately. So have them pick like a melee character, you pick a ranged character and just practice like kiting them or like orb walking, whatever, just to practice spacing. If that's not the case, because that's kind of unreliable, if you play the characters that you're having trouble with, you'll start to learn what they look for when they need to get a kill, and that can help you with knowing how much distance away you should space. Like, if for example, if you're having trouble with like Kathy and you play a game of Kathy, you realize what the Suture range is or the E range is, and that'll help you with how far you should stand away. In terms of like Battle Zone over mastery farming, it's kind of character dependent, and it's also kind of playstyle dependent. There's a lot of characters in KR currently that, or a lot of players, I should say, in KR that like skipping first Battle Zone and objective and just continue on their hunt rotation. It's a strategy. I think it's definitely a high risk strategy because you're not getting skirmishes with other players that way, but you will come out with higher mastery than most. In terms of like creating a hunt rotation to stick with, that's not really something you do. Routes kind of just have a hunt rotation ingrained into them. We'll look at the build that you're doing and see what the rotation could be for that route. If we're lucky, it'll be something I'm familiar with. But yeah, no problem. We will. I feel like the mid game is going to be the theme of the stream today. So we're looking for NotEva. And they're on Eva. Eva, yeah, spacing is definitely going to be really important with Eva. Kind of the same as Rio. You want to play around walls, being able to E over walls. Don't get too used to it though, because she's getting her wall dash removed next patch. Or not next patch, but next or on release. What was the other thing that you said? Better mid-game decisions? Okay, that can just be fixed from like watching players better than you. I would find a KR Ava player and watching what they do. Yeah, her dash is getting turned into like a speed up type of thing, so she won't be able to dash over walls anymore. So far, so good. I would assume Ava's a tree contester. I think with Ava, she's very transition heavy, and you're also like really good at playing around objectives with your long range, so I wouldn't guess that her dominant playstyle would be hard farming. It's probably just like poking people out from a distance every time like someone enters your screen. Can't wait till the NN does rush for a tactic skill and see I run you down with her E and rush. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the tactical skills work. I get the feeling like hard farming for your tactical upgrade might be a strategy, but like at the same time, I can also see like ignoring your tactical skill, like the entire game also being a strategy. I can't think of a position where like I would rather have like level 2 flash over like a VF blood, you know? Ava gets her mastery from pokes. Yeah, you harass people at objectives from range. That's kind of what it seems like. I've seen some Avas go to battle zone. I'm sure she does well at alpha. I've seen her in the movement speed zone for the cooldown reduction. So we're gonna be a little bit slow to symmetry. You want to be making sure that you're getting there like right as it spawns. It's gonna be free anyway, but like typically like this is gonna be like 2 or 3 seconds off, especially with Ava's ability to take it over the wall. I see most Avas stand up here to take it, so that way they're out of vision. Just something to keep in mind. You can also group this boar. Yeah, you can group this boar up with these wolves. Good job. Why is Ava transparent? She is a little bit. I couldn't tell you why. It's probably a spectating bug. She's just very like glowy. So when you go symmetry, right? Like hunt rotations, because you asked about like sticking to a hunt rotation. Hunt rotations are basically just like 1 or 2 wolf zones and a bear zone, right? So like because you're ending in cemetery and you're getting these wolves at night 1, same time the next day these wolves will be spawning. Now typically you want to get these wolves in the daytime because they're probably not going to be here at night, but just know that like wolf zones are your like daytime hunts and bear zones are your nighttime hunts, and like that's basically it for hunt rotations. Some characters like stick to more of a set path. Basically, again, anytime someone comes on your screen, like throw some cues at them, fire your laser at them. Hunt rotations aren't huge for Ava. You want mostly wolves and chickens since they're easier for you to kill. Yeah, I don't think I see Ava take bears too often, but I would stick to taking wolves during daytime as your general hunts. You're gonna get a ton of mastery in this battle zone. It looks like you're coming in with a transition and there's like 50 people here. Careful with eating forward. I know you really want that kill and it's gonna be a battle zone, so you'll respawn anyway, but like, ooh. I like that you're just ignoring the Johan too. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I'd be careful with eating forward here. Like, I know you really wanted this kill on the Jackie and you got it, but at the expense of, oh, come on, Johan, you can do it. At the expense of like giving your life for it, like it's probably better to just participate in the battle zone, because it's like you'll definitely kill Johan. This Johan's killing this Rio, so you're probably gonna kill on this Rio too. Oh my god, he's not gonna get it. That's so tragic. He didn't get it. Respawn hotel. That's good. It's a wolf zone. I'm gonna assume this Kenwu just ran from beach, so he wasn't in it when you respawn, so that's a little unfortunate. You do want to make sure that you're getting your heal if you're not eating food. Dude's been doing this in solo ranked for a while now. Oh no. I didn't know Mika was an EU player. Interesting. Damn you, Adri Toma, for making N and nerf John. If anything, I think Matcha is the one that's getting Johan nerfed. Oh, that's not Mika? Oh, okay. Interesting, okay. So this is, again, good hunts. You'll know that your wolves are coming up now because you took them earlier. So this is a good rotation. Like, I think you're below down in mastery because you didn't really get to participate in that battle zone, but other than that, like, this is all good. And you got a tree off of it, so that's gonna be Scotty. I don't know if Ava goes Fireball or not, but I would assume Glacials are a bigger priority. There's a boar here that you can get more mastery off of just quickly, but I appreciate you trying to get to tree on time. However, if that's the case, we should just go earlier. Kathy's gonna be a little bit of a difficult fight in this tight corridor. Don't get sutured off the dog. I know you don't have a way of knowing that it's Kathy yet, but I also don't think you have to give up on that play that quickly. Like, that Kathy's a little strong, but like, she has a 4-score. Like, you put pressure on her, that you get a 4-score and a tree. At the very least, like, she has to like Q alt to get anywhere near you, so you can at least just throw stuff at her. Sign a position and nerf all Isaac players. I agree. This Johan's invisible now. It's a new spectator glitch. He's transparent as well. I don't think you're crazy. I think that Ava was transparent before. It looks like when they walk in bushes, there's a chance that they're transparent when they come out. So round 2 on Battle Zone. I'm glad you're clearing out the hunts before Battle Zone 2. We do have a lot of credits. Oh, and you did manage to get a meteorite off of those wolves too, so we're looking good for transitions. Thank God I'm not high. When's the high Jinx Sua gameplay coming? The high stream. I think you can play off of actually I think you want to take this drone from what I've seen Evas do in hospital,
The old days.
because you want to like play over this wall and this wall as you can. Realistically, you shouldn't die in a 1v1 to Johan, so just make sure you don't get timered. It's kind of his only way of winning. You really only have to dodge one thing too, yeah. Poor Johan. Just get absolutely wasted in place, so I'm a high-functioning drunk according to the Pokemon Unite stream I did. Yeah, do a drunk rank climb. See how far you get.
You still have a long way to go.
You probably need sober teammates though. I can't imagine 3 drunks would get pretty high in teams. Meteorite reward for winning the battle zone. No force core, unfortunately, because it's a 1v1. This is all good stuff, Len. Get your force core called in. I'm glad that you're doing the R reset with Ava E as well. I see sometimes Avas don't do that. So that Moonstone's going to go towards weapon, I think. Force core probably for persona. Maybe if the devs are Korean, they will add some boy like male Ari. I'm weird, I know, but I watch only one Foxmen in MOBA, and the MOBA no released out of beta in China. Oh, interesting. I think at some point we'll get like, what are they called? Like kenonomies? Whatever the fucking half animal, half human hybrid thing is. We'll get a male one of those at some point. Ram was already pushing it. Kemono Mimi? Yeah, we'll get one of those at some point.
One less inconvenience for you.
VF cat girls. Where's Wick spawning? Wick is in cemetery. It's kind of free. When you have... Like, I know you don't have crits to call in your transitions, but I think you could go on the cemetery to get the mask, and then you would have been at Wick. You're about to be 5 transitions, so I think you definitely should be in the area. You're hella strong. Just have to watch out for Cappy and some. You almost got wall slammed right there. Oh god, Cicella. Jesus. Good to get away from that dial-in. You do a ton of damage, so you are able to self-peel a little bit, but not being near Wick when you're this strong is a little problematic. Kandala, interesting. I don't hate that, especially with a lead island and a Jenny and a Cappy. Actually, I really like Kandala here. I'm not sure how much it'll help you against the Hyunwoo. You might have to like Kandala cleanse E immediately. That's a good kill there. Glad you're not greeting for the items. I would like to see you go over this wall. You do have to watch out for the Dylan ult, but you have the ult, so... Or you have the Kandala, rather, to block it, so I think that's really well played. I think even because you have the Kandala, you can greet a little bit more in that fight. Oh, she silenced herself. She's also sliding. So you know Dylan's in red, and you know that this zone's clear. Ava, I think, has to take Wick in 2 parts. I don't think she can just solo take it. Good dodge. You can cleanse the silence now if you need to. Oh no, okay. A little unfortunate.
Take your time.
Nunchuck skill is really silenceable. I think once it gets to this point and she can reset the fight, you might have to give up Chase. but I think it's more so we just allowed too much space off the gap close here. If anything, like, if you play... Let me get my pen out. If you're going to play around... Oh, I don't want this open. How do I... Give me the thing I want. If you're going to play around, like, this bush here, like, I would kite it down this way. Because you know you have the Kandala cleanse. Yeah, you should be able to link stuff, Jinx, as a mod. You have the Kandala cleanse, right? So getting hit by a Dylan ult is really not that big of a deal. So I'd rather see you, like, play over this wall here rather than just, like, Eing out to the side this way. And I think that part would have saved you. That's, again, like you were talking about with the spacing thing. Lead Island's a tough character because she can gap close really hard on you. But also not dodging the unchuck with how slow of a windup it is and you can see it is a little bit troll. Especially with... Did you have E up at the time too? You probably didn't have E up. I think... I mean, she released it right away, so it might be a little bit tough, but I think this is dodgeable. You're pretty much almost out of it anyways. It's a little unfortunate. I think this just comes with, like, thinking about what Lead Island's gonna do though. But good try. Your mid game was pretty good though. I think there was a lot of like your hunts are pretty fine. I would just work with like blasting everything that's on your screen, not getting overexcited for some kills, just like playing it a little bit slower. Kandala is Hex in solo? Oh, well. Good job dodging the ult then with the side step. That's kind of your play. I still think you should try and play it over the wall, but if it's not a cleanse, then yeah, you can't really greed for it then. See, the weapon Elite Island has is quite important on the strat. You do? Yeah, if she's Nunchuck, she's gonna try and be more ability focused and probably hit you with her abilities. If she's more glove, or she's glove, she's gonna try and use her abilities to like dodge and gap close. Plus, like, once you see that she's used Q, all that she has left is nunchuck skill. So it's just like something to try and be thinking about. That's really tough though. Like, weapon skills are not always at the forefront of the mind. We have another Len. We have two Lens. They are unranked. I seem to fumble with encounters and objectives. I can rat out most games and get to the top 5 or 3, but I only have 2 or 3 kills at most, normally 1 or 0. If you have 2 or 3 kills and you're in the top 3, that's pretty good. Straight up. Even if they're battle zone kills, like, that's still pretty good. If it's a question about like taking objectives, like as in like Alpha, Omega, and like Wick, like I said earlier, go in the practice tool and practice taking those objectives. Like, play normal games and practice taking those objectives. For the most part, like, get comfortable doing it. Take it with like 0 transitions, take it with like 3 transitions, take it with 6 transitions, take it when you're 15 mastery, take it when you're 9 mastery. Like, just learn how the character that you play takes it. Now you're playing Amp Fiora, so it's a little bit trickier. You kind of have to like poke and disengage the objectives. You're also Spear. Interesting. I haven't seen a Spear Fiora in a while. Make sure you're being conscious of your like loot rotation or loot distributions. Especially if you like don't need items in archery or alley like that. Just better off to get straight to hotel. I don't know what your route is, unfortunately. These ones here are just kind of one-off ones. If you took this distribution, if you don't get it, I would come around here to try and get it. You can kind of gamble on these if you just need one, or even walking up here would be fine. Once again, worry about taking your items first. If you need, like, if you're trying to roll leather off the bat, that's fine, but you're going to pass by this way, assumingly anyway. So I would just either kill the bat and keep building, or, like, you shouldn't need to loot cameras just yet. Same thing with Chapel here. You want to start at this box. There might be stuff in it that you need. We ran straight to this one. Just making sure you're looting in direction. I would also like try to wait. Like when you're taking animals while you take your build, that's fine. Like attack them and then start crafting, and then because you're an amp character and you don't need to basic attack them, I would just like, oh, you definitely don't want ult chickens. That's kind of a waste of ult, even for the speed. But like take the camp, craft, take the camp, craft, hit the camp again. Like if you have to. Like, it's not worth it. Just stand there auto-attacking. Fiora ult's relatively short, but you shouldn't have to ult chickens. What does that Elena have? Had you have had ult right there, you probably could have just killed that Elena. She looked like she was going to try and engage on you. She only had 2 items. So we're finishing in pond. I would like to see you grab this temple bear while you're here. Perfect. Good. I like that. Your combo with Amp Fiora, I believe, for crafting is Q auto attack, W auto attack, and I would be careful about using E just because that's your escape ability. If you want to take chickens with Fiora, you can poke one, line them 2 of them up to hit with W, gather them together, then use W. Yeah, you just want to be grouping them around. Hi Raisin, how's it going? So we're in dock. We're here for the... What is this? Some movement? I think this is the movement. Battle zone. Yeah, boost to battle zone. We're here a bit early, and with dock being a bear zone, it's likely that someone's already taken the bears. I would have liked to see you hunt around pond a bit more. There were some boars that you could have taken. You could have either pathed up through temple, taken this bear too. Here in ponds, like we're only 5 weapon mastery, and we've had to burn ult to fight Luke. Like we're not doing much damage to him, you know. And our ult will be down for the battle zone now. We also don't have a great food situation either, which that can be fixed here in dock. If you find a lighter and pick up some rocks, you can make baked potatoes. They're pretty good food. They're like the equivalent of steak, just with baked potatoes. You get a little bit less, but definitely look to make those while you're here. I would definitely try to take this zone. It's going to be harder to dodge. It's going to be hard to engage on Sylvia, but also harder to dodge your spells. Especially because we're a little bit down in mastery too. Actually, this will be a good third party if you can get there. Sylvia had to burn Amp Drone, which is huge. Oh, get back in there. We're fighting. I think a little bit more aggressive in this this battle zone. I think that could have been a third party. You probably could have picked up 2 kills too, because your ult would be coming back up. A little bit of skill shot accuracy whiffing there. Not sure if you would have been able to kill her, but missing E into Q into double R is a little unfortunate. At that point, the fight's kind of just lost because you're amp. Maybe if you're not set on amp Fiora, but you do like Fiora, try two-handed Fiora and then play her crit or like AP version. It might be a little bit easier to pilot. Also, we respawned in Uptown. It's not a great zone to spawn in. These bears should be gone, realistically. They didn't get taken, so they're up, but most of the time these will be gone. You want to try and spawn in a wolf zone. Alley would have been great because it would have been wolves and bears. Cemetery would have been fine. Hospital would have been fine. They're taken now, but probably would have been fine. You want to try and respawn in the wolf zone because it's daytime still. Let me just get up with what you had asked to. Fumble encounters and objectives. I mean, so far it's just like skill shot accuracy. I wouldn't go into the game trying to rat, especially with a character like Fiora. She's pretty decent at like picking up kills and trying to fight her way out of things. And you're not gonna be tanky enough to really just like be a rat. So far it's been skill shot accuracy, which I think can be eliminated if you try two-handed Fiora. It's a little bit different of a playstyle. And like Jinx said, yeah, the red part of your Q is what you want to try and hit, especially when you're playing amp. When you're playing two-handed, it doesn't really matter. But as you can see, it's like a little bit longer range than your W, so you will run into the issue of like QWing and missing. It's a little bit rougher execution, I think. It's definitely the harder playstyle to play. But you're doing it well there. But now we're in a bear zone with a zone that doesn't have bears because we had took them. So we're gonna waste a little bit of mastery. Going for tree is not bad here though. I like this play. I would like to see you like E off to the bat because you get your dash reset, so you could double dash into this tree. It'll save you a couple seconds of timer. And I think you get Blazing Lance. I don't know what the tree upgrade for Fiora is. I like that you Q check this bush, especially when you take tree. That's could be someone sitting there, so that's good. So I went for Sultan. I don't know if that's the best upgrade for tree, but it might be. I'm assuming you're in the character Discord. You can probably check there too. Got wolves up, so this will be good to take. Blazing has attack speed. What's the blue one? God, it's not gonna... What's the blue spear called? This one. Star Hunter? Yeah, Star Hunter. Is that tree? Oh, it's Mithril. That one's Moonstone. Is there a tree? Should I know amp tree spear? Oh, there's not. Interesting. I didn't know there's no amp tree spear. I'm so far zoomed out. Here for Battle Zone, it's gonna be free, so I would like to see you move to somewhere where you can start farming mastery for your next play. We're a little bit behind compared to the rest of the lobby. Oh, Jackie is 9, Bianca is 12, this Jackie is 14, and this Jackie is 12. Sylvia is 10. So yeah, we're a little bit behind. It's kind of interesting there's so many Jackies in this lobby, but... So you got your Mithril. Do you need to keep moving though? We're spending a lot of time like sitting in one spot. All this stuff that can like cooking can't be done while moving, but all the calling in and stuff can be done while moving. So just try to make better use of your time that way. I don't think you're strong enough in this lobby to have gone from Battle Zone to Omega, but you do have good food online. The Sylvia is also not crazy stronger than you. It might be someone you might look for, especially because with your R's, you can stop her speed on her bike. I would also look for this Jackie. You probably have a good chance against her too. But I would clear out the hunts and then I would keep moving on. You do know that these uptown bears have respawned though, because you do have the timer for them. So I would like to see you clear out the hunts in cemetery and then return to your bears. I think that's one thing for all the games that we've watched so far is just trying to keep track of your own timers. Like, I think it's a skill to be able to track hunts that your enemy takes, right? Like, that's tough to do. But you should be able to keep track of your own timers. And one thing you can do, if you don't know, is that you can hold shift and then click on the map, and that will like fast zoom around the map so you're not spending time like scrolling. You can't click like this in... This is only for spectator, so when you're in actual game, make sure you hold shift. But that's more XP that's just being left there. And we're definitely good on food at this point. Like, I don't think you need to be stopping for more food. At this point, food's not gonna make or break a fight. It's your mastery. So as long as you have some type of food, you should be okay. I had a great game recently in squads teaching some new players about the objectives. It was so fun. Any updates on your tournament idea, Jinx, of having like a veteran player and new player together? You never have too little food coming from a food junkie. IRL? Absolutely. Gotta have a snack always. I don't have a snack currently. So Kabana comes out with the meteorite. Good choice. Jackie will be taking our hunts, unfortunately. These ones should have been ours, but we had to give them up. We have Sylvia here, so you know that she's in the zone. And this Jackie here is also not too strong. They might fight each other. You can look for a third party. You won't be able to see them, obviously, but you'll see the pings. So you saw the ping on the bear and then the ping on the spore. So you should know that there's two people, because it won't ping like that far away from or at that different times if it was the same person taking them. I think this is a fight you definitely could hover around, at least to just see who it was. I'm better with teaching through visual example. I get that. I think if we had saw pings up here in archery, just claymores up here, you'd also know that Bianca's coming down. I think that's information that we could read from. So it's probably best not to take a fight. I know you mentioned ratting a little bit, but I think we're doing... I don't think we're out of this game yet, you know? Like, we're not in rat position yet. We're a little bit weaker, but we're still 3 transition. Fiora's a very strong duelist. She is someone that can take these fights and win them from being a little bit down in mastery. Especially the Sylvia fight. I think the Sylvia and this Jackie is your way in the game, and then you get 2 kills. Maybe finish 4th, 3rd even. Like, that's a good game. I know it's quicker to ult these, but it's probably best that we don't. Just especially with day radar scans, so you know that this Jackie is nearby, Bianca's nearby, and that you will have to walk into this zone. Jackie should know you're in here. Probably she wants to fight, hold this exit. Yeah, it looks like she's gonna. I'm all for using R to farm quickly, but if there's a chance that there could be a fight soon, you probably want to hold on to it. Yeah, especially with Amp Drone too. The cooldown for Amp Drone is not too bad, but you don't want to get caught with it down. Once again, Jackie probably saw that ping, so she should know that you're up here. And you do have to eventually walk down this way. If this is a rank game, that's one thing. But if this is a normal game, I think you do need to spend a little bit of time trying to play it more confidently. Like if you die in normals, you die in normals, right? Like you're not losing LP for it. But I think you're going into like rat mode a little bit too early. This game might be tough to win with a 4-kill Jackie, but this game definitely isn't as bad as you think it might be going, or as like safe as you think you need to play.
One bad move and you might get caught.
Yeah, it's your only way to peel Jackie, especially one of the Jackies is 2H as well, so it could get a little tough. That's the Jackie you don't want to fight right there. That one you run away from. This game is hard. Yeah, I think it's very rewarding once you learn a lot of it though. It takes some time though. It's not a one season learn game by any means. I think it's definitely a multi-season learn. That Sylvia's gonna die here. Oh, this might be a kill you can pick up. You're not gonna see her. That's a little unfortunate. Had she ran this way on the camera, you probably would have seen her, but you'll see this Jackie at the very least. Who's gonna head boom for a small bit of mastery. Yeah, they've already announced that they're removing the old battle passes. Got into a game because of hot characters, stayed for cold ones. It'd be like that.
Time to fix all this mess.
Elena players. Yeah, they're introducing loot boxes to get everything except for cadet skins. That's a really good block there. However, this is the one Jackie that you don't want to fight. You did a really good job of blocking her jump with your alt or spear, whichever one you use. But then we kind of just like hung around the area. Like Jackie's just gonna run you down at that point. Radar scan's a little unfortunate because there's 3 Jackies around and they're probably not gonna fight each other because it's just gonna be a stat check. So you and Sylvia will be the targets. But yeah, I don't think we had to play as passive as we did. And I think even like that was the Fed Jackie, but had that been any other Jackie, if we were like moving proactively and keeping our mastery up, that could have been a fight that we could win there. There wasn't, but it's more so the preventive measure of like getting to that point. I don't think that game was lost at the start. Last game of the day, we have ShizuChan. They go by Shizuru. They're unranked. Fighting mentality and decision making. So that's going to depend on what character you're playing. Some characters can just take fights with anyone because they're just about stat checking. Fiora. Some characters we'll see. I guess Fiora has to be careful of like 2H, but... So looking for Shizuru.
Give me a bottle of good liquor and I'll be up in a second.
So we're on Haze. Okay. So yeah, Haze, you definitely gotta be careful with who you're picking fights with. Haze is gonna be a little bit of trouble for you on characters that can gap close more than once. losing your knockback kind of hurt a lot. Haze is a lot like Ava. Yeah, just without the wall dash. You also don't really have a way of making people fight you unless you hit like all 4 of your ults. It's kind of the only way you can chase someone down. I like the EW to get between loot distributions. That'll help speed you up. I would probably grab... Oh, no, you're going to school. Okay, that's fine. I thought you were going to run up the teleporter. You can threaten objectives super hard. Yeah, you do have to be careful if this is going to be a temple tree build. You do lose the Sua at temple tree, as we see almost every day in NA. Superior starting the game 1-0 with a kill on Iomi. Iomi's real for that, for still going to temple tree every game and getting wiped. Good Haze just won't let you get close though. I imagine so. I still think it's like not overly too difficult. Superior is also a very different quality of player than your average Sua, but it's probably not as bad as he makes it out to be. It's like every game though. I feel like we're a little bit slow on build. I think there might be a faster way to get through this area than just walking to school. I'm not too familiar with this build though, but we'll probably look to see archery wolves into alley wolves into alley bears. It's probably a good contest for you.
One less inconvenience for you.
I don't need this anymore.
Yeah, and that's good for me that he does that, because I have a character that's very good at 1v1ing him. However, like, by the time I show up to Omega, which is where I usually see a superior, he's got like 4 transitions, like a VF blood, 3 kills. Like, had you showed up to like Omega, like 1 kill, 1 transition, like most of the time, I'd have a lot more, like, a lot less trouble dealing with him.
One less inconvenience.
Because I do have a very good matchup into him. I just get bonked for auto attacks. Okay, so this is a good hunt rotation. I like the archery into alley. That's what I thought we'd see. We see it a lot with builds that end archery. I would like to see you go and get this bear too, if you're gonna leave. If not, all of them.
Looks like that worked.
Though to be fair, Sue with 2 transitions is already scary. She is a little bit.
Time to waste.
Still dealable. It's like once she gets her like cooldown like cap upgrade, that's like impossible to deal with. The other Haze is here. Might be able to cannibalize her. You are faster than her, so you should be... I don't know what build she went, but she went some Corrupting Touch build. These will be yours because of it, though. It looks like you might run into a Jenny. I think you can still just take these to spare.
One less inconvenience.
I don't think you had to wait in case you see... I was gonna say, this should be kite audible. Oh, Q there, miss hurts. I think you might be able to still pop passive though. Yeah, you're kind of low now, but
Bad move and
yeah. A little unfortunate there.
Check if there's any alcohol.
I'm gonna assume that you didn't see the Jenny here because that wasn't your vision console. So I think maybe a little bit quicker reactions. You might be able to return more damage. Q missing around this corner kind of hurt a little bit too.
You still have a long way to go.
We'll see what kind of zone you pick. Archery is good. You know your hunts are back up. I like that a lot. Good spawn. You will have to run towards hotel instead of alley now, but that's fine, realistically. I would start on this side though, and then because you have to go to the hotel and then loot this way. Or not loot this way, hunt that way. Good night, MOBA Gaming. Have a good sleep. Classic Nadine and Archery. This, I imagine, is a matchup you can take. If you hit your R's, I would say. You hit 2, 3. Oh, I would just... Yeah, I would send it on her. That's not a great monkey wire. You might be able to catch up there. You forward? Oh, eat into the wall. Unfortunate. I like the idea. I think it's a good decision. Or reset there kind of sucks, but... Anyone that you can like kind of outrange, or this is showing 0 items for this Haze. Interesting. I love visual glitches. Can I reset that? Thanks. In terms of decision making for fights, like you pretty much never want to take the Chiara fight. Nadine's probably pretty good. You can outrange them. The other Haze is just going to come down to who hits more spells. Elena might be a little bit troublesome because she can double gap close onto you with rapier skill. Jenny is probably okay if you start in a 50-50. If you start with like her around the corner, it's probably a little tough. And Marcus should be okay as long as he doesn't ult you. Might see a tree call in here for yeah, for what's it called, the Black Widow, I think it's called.
Check if there's any alcohol. One bad move and you might get caught.
Make sure you have the inventory space when you call stuff in, otherwise it'll take up a little bit of extra time. Never want to risk a Q on Shiara because if she doesn't respect it, she gets a free rapier dash and E. Yeah, that character kills way too quickly for you to be able to do anything. Like even if she like rapier E's in and you like W to the side and somehow like stun her and dodge the root, I think she still just runs you down. Can't imagine it's ever a good matchup. You just don't deal damage quick enough to deal with her. Yeah, like this. Like you just run, I think. Yeah, you got hit by it. Okay, she popped ult really early. The boar kind of saved you, but that works. I didn't factor in the boar. We kind of fell off our hunt rotation a little bit. We did good by getting the hunts here, and then we called it a tree in. We got a little bit pushed out of forest, but I imagine you probably would have wanted forest wolves. They probably wouldn't have been up. Probably would like to see you come straight to beach after hotel, unless you needed something specific in forest, or even farm school out, because these hunts are probably up. Movement speed zone isn't great for Haze. You probably want the defensive one, but I imagine you probably would have been able to get there and then into beach in time. Looks like he will get a free battle zone in beach, which is nice. The Mega coming in pond. No one's there currently. You might be able to get, if you're playing up here, you might be able to get into the Hyperloop to go to Omega. Oh, Chiara's there now. That's gonna be hers. So that's Horus. 2 upgrades, not bad. We do have most of our zones closed though. I would like to see you go forest here, and this is where I think you can get wolves again. I think you go forest and then chapel, and I think at this point with Omega being on the other side of the map, it's pretty safe, and all of these hunts will be up. Bears you could have taken during the night while you were waiting for battle zone, so it's going to be a little bit slow, but it's better to take them than not take them.
Check if there's any alcohol. Look for the fallen ones.
Oh, it's just the one there that's alive. Okay, so good that you grabbed that, and then into forest you can grab these wolves. You should see pings on these wolves, so you should know that they're going to be gone and not going to be worth going into hotel to take. I like this. Do have to be a little conscious of when Wick is going to spawn. I don't think Haze's Wick pick's very good. Maybe it's fine alone, but with people around, I think it's going to be super risky to do. I think one thing I see from Korean Haze players too is that they check with like bushes with ult a lot. Also, I'm not sure if you know, but you can cancel the weapon switching animation by using weapon skill. Yeah, you can also immediately auto with weapon skill and it'll come out faster and empowered. It's a good skill to learn with Haze. If you go into a practice tool, just practice using any ability and then weapon skilling immediately. It's good if you need like one last hit before someone's about to kill you. Comes out quicker than the normal auto. So we got Wick spawning in cemetery. No one's around it again currently. Elena just TP'd in, so Haze has got pretty good Wick defense, I think. Like with her ult, like even if you're not taking it, I think you can force other people to like dogpile on each other just by ulting the person who's trying to take it. So I would hang around and shadow it if you can. Kind of like what Marcus is doing here. What Marcus is doing is a really good play actually, because he's not going to be able to take it with Elena there, but he's still keeping his mastery up by taking hunts as well. I'm assuming you're waiting for it to pull aggro. It's just going to walk through. You have the vision of Nadine, I believe? No, you don't. Oh, you'll see the meteorite disappear, so you know that someone's there. I think you can kind of assume that everyone's in the same area too. You can, yeah, you definitely can now. You can see all three of these people on cams. I think you just play this slow, right? Like, instead of playing for like last hits at the start here, I think if you play for making sure that everyone dies, that's really good. Dean burnt ult there, so you can challenge her. It's going to be hard to get around this corner, so I would probably just back off. Didn't do a lot of damage to that Q though. She's only got, oh, she's got 200 stacks. That's kind of a lot, but being mostly crit, that arrow's not going to do too much damage. Would be careful about the Selena though. I think that's much harder than the Nadine to deal with. Chapel hopefully isn't going to be your final zone, because I think that's a pretty tough final zone for Haze. Realistically, you want these two to fight. Yeah, if you're trading like arrow, like when she goes into arrow, that's kind of when you want to step up. Like normally with like Amp Nadine, you want to like try and back up when she's arrowing so you can dodge. But that's kind of her going into arrow animation is like a free hit where you can't auto attack. So you want to try and trade one of your abilities with it. No one's going to be able to grab this wick. At this point, I think because we're only 13 mastery, I would work on getting traps rather than trying to farm up transitions now. Because I think you're going to need them to try and win this final zone. It's good damage there with Q auto. I think you just have to be careful about like getting one shot. It's the only thing. Wick is an avenue, and you know these two are in. Oh, there's the send. Okay, really good play to get out of Elena there. I think we canceled the ult a little too early. Good dodge. You want to force the Nadine into the Elena. There's the monkey wire. This is where I'd send it now. Because once that monkey wire comes out, either Elena's gonna commit on the Nadine or Nadine's gonna commit on Elena. You still have to be careful. You're around the corner, which is good, but... Oh, walk up. This is where you walk up again. You gotta listen for the animation. Oh, it's red. The spectator was glitched. Okay. That's fine. If it's turning red, you have to leave. But... one day they'll fix spectator, and we'll be able to know when the zone's turning red. Yeah. Avenue final zone, probably want to be in this one. You don't like, this is a really tight space. Like these aren't great, and the final zone's gonna be even worse for you, especially against Nadine. If it's against Elena, it might be okay, but you don't have a wall dash, so it's gonna be a little tough. I don't know if you saw that, but there's a healing potion on the ground here you could have grabbed for food. You could also call on a med kit if you wanted. But I think, like, while you had the zone by yourself there, that's when I would start calling in, like, C4 probably. Or not C4. Claymores probably would be the best for Haze, I think. You need the damage, and it will also keep them standing still. So I'd call in Claymore parts. Oh, I would back away right now. Nadine popped ult so early. Yeah. So, we'll have a look at your timer because I'm not sure how much timer you had, but I think you had enough time to back away out of the Nadine ult. Like the moment you see this wolf come out, she pops it right now. You got 32 seconds. Just dip. Just leave out this way and time out her ult. Like she made the mistake of like backstepping with her ult on. You can just punish her by leaving. But we E forward here, which is good because you E forward on the charge. So that's not a bad play, but her wolf auto attacks are just going to rip through you. And I think like even though her ult's out, like you waste a lot of her ult time. Like she only got like 2 wolf autos. Like that's the second wolf out. She gets 3 wolves on you. So I think you definitely win that if you just stall out the ult. Now, maybe she plays the timer game, but you're in the small zone, so I don't think she can really realistically time you out. I would just be watching for that. Good try, though. She is Mithril armored up and tack visored up, so she does have some defensive stats. Oh, Elena, you don't have the timer for this. Good sir, you should have sat in the other zone. Or you can just one-shot her. That works too. You get the freeze, I guess. Interesting Nadine didn't try and go over the wall. She just kind of monkey wired in a straight line. But that was a good game, though. I think most of that game, you made really good decisions. I think you got bailed out by the boar in Forest. I would definitely react a little bit quicker to that Chiara TPing in. Once you see that it's a Chiara, just get out of there because she is going to murder you. A little bit of stuff with like the bear zones and the wolf zones that needs to be cleaned up, but I think that was overall a very good game. Good Haze gameplay too. We don't get to see Haze too much. I like that character. Maybe we'll play her a little bit more. Well, that was another good week of games. Thank you guys for those who submitted clips. So if anyone has any questions, we'll take Q&A for a bit, but overall, really good game. Next week's schedule will be a little bit interesting. I'm not sure, because of like we're getting close to release, how much stream I'll do. I want to do a like tracking the pros next week because I want to do like a squad special one. I'm thinking we might do Uzma because he's kind of like the token very good squads player, so we might look at some of his games, but it'll all depend if squads pops this weekend. I get the feeling because it's the last week of ranked, people might be playing solos on the weekend. That's what happened last season, but we'll see. Hey Benson, I'm quite literally ending soon. Only literally breaks your legs so you can't run away from her dropping a big rock on her head. Yeah, it's kind of just how the character is. I don't see Elena too often though. I hope you're doing well, Benson. Yeah, so Jinx, let me know a little bit more about the project you posted if you get a chance. I know it's kind of late for you, but if that is everything, I will be heading out. Thank you guys so much for stream today. We got a bunch of good games to look at. It was a lot of fun. I will be sure to update my community tab next time we do another coaching stream, so be on the lookout for that. As mentioned, there are NP codes over on my community tab inside the dev journal, so make sure you grab one of those too. Well, for sure, I'm going to invite people for it who express interest and discuss it with y'all. Yeah, 100%. Thank you guys so much for submitting. Thank you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Make sure to queue rank tonight. It's the last day before patch, and that'll be the final patch of the season, so only like a week and a half to hit your rank goals. Good luck, guys. I will see you next time I upload.